As you might have seen from our earlier wide shot, and so there is no rain in the ring, but there is sunshine.
Well, Espana's coming out smoking just the way he said he would. Dick, anything can happen.
Kenty just too quick for Espana in their first fight. But Espana can punch.
Kenty's right in front of him. Punch and punch for punch.
Kenty told us Espana's best chance was to nail him early, and yet he's going right after him.
Good left hook by Kenty.
This is the WBA Lightweight Championship here on the CBS Sports Spectacular. In 2 weeks, we'll have the WBC version.
If neither fighter is fighting as if he expects this fight to go 15 rounds. They're really winging him. You know, when Espana fights, he has a look of pain on his face. Can't deceive you.
Seems to be telegraphing the right hand, Gil.
Well, he fights like a robot. He throws his punches a little wide. He's a very, very strong guy, but not too good in technique.
Round one scheduled for 15. Espana 4 years older than Hilmer Kenty, who shocked the boxing world with his victory last March, ending in a 9th round TKO.
Kenty's taking the initiative now. He's feinting well to a good straight right hand right on the button.
And the left is getting through as well. Good deal of action in this first round, and once again Espana gets hit smack on the nose with a Kenty right hand.
This is one time that both managers gave it to us straight. They said that both of their fighters were coming out smoking, and they are.
According to Stewart, Kenty more confident now with 30 seconds left in round one and punching harder than he's ever punched before.
There's no question. Once you win that title, you feel like a champion. It makes a better fighter out of you.
Exchanging blows with Kenty throwing most of them. And the final seconds of round one in an action-packed opening moment here in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
How much would you say this suit looks like it costs?
$150. Anywhere from $150 to $185.
Wrong.
When you box, you gotta get in there and box.
And you heard what they said. They don't like the fact that he's going toe-to-toe with Espana. They want him to box more, Gil.
That's right. That's what I'd have him do too. Feint, make this guy lead, make a miss, and then hit him. You don't have to throw punch for punch with a fellow like this.
Round two.
Dick, you talk about the home court advantage. Espana is sitting in a nice shady corner between rounds, and Kenty is in the broiling sun. And believe me, if this fight went the distance, which I don't think it will, it could prove to be a factor in the fight.
Kenty slips away from the ropes nicely. I don't think Kenty wants to box. He's doing more of it so far here in the second round, though. Good combination by Hilmer, who then goes downstairs.
Kenty takes advantage of that height and reach that he has. He just keeps out of your range, and he manages to score himself.
And there's a welt below the left eye of Espana. Kenty scoring with left in his combination. When he doubled up the jab and doubled with the hook, he was effective in the first fight. He's getting through.
Get out, get out, get out. Kenty is a good, solid fighter, good, solid combination puncher. Never hangs out with one punch. Throws that right hand, hooks off it. Well schooled.
Two world champions in the stable of Emanuel Stewart. Thomas Hearns, the welterweight champ, was in the corner, and Kenty here.
Now, as tall as Kenty is, Emanuel Stewart told me that they gave him stretching exercises, and he's grown another inch, if that's possible. He is a tall lightweight.
Less than a minute and a half remaining in the second round. And Kenty Kenty scores with a left and then goes down with body punches. His combinations are clicking, and here's a good right by Espana, his best punch of the fight thus far.
Kenty's making a brawl out of this, and it's not necessary. Just got hit with another good right hand on his chin.
Minute to go, second round. Kenty in the white trunks on the left. Espana now with his back toward you. He's from Venezuela.
Kenty has a cut just in the corner of his left eye.
And it might have an effect on his view, his vision. A good right hand opened that cut by Espana. And Kenty gaining not to box, but to punch. With 30 seconds remaining in round two.
Espana's starting to fade now. Dick, starting to fade. Looking to grab.
Get out.
This is like a Golden Glove championship. Nobody's saving anything.
Final seconds of round two.
Hold it up.
From Patterson State, college student, going for the title. Round three. Kenty has a cut on his left eye, but he's done most of the punishment thus far.
Kenty is really firing those combinations.
Very confident is Hilmer. His only problem in what Emmanuel Stewart says was a masterpiece in their first fight was that he held his left hand too low and was vulnerable to a right cross, but he seems to have corrected that.
He's making a fight which should be an easy fight hard.
Good right hand by Kenty.
Espana's right back, though. He just doesn't have to do this. He can be feinting, moving, snapping that long left hand.
He pick his spot.
Good left hook by Kenty. Survival of the fittest. Exactly what this is.
Hilmer Kenty's second title defense. His last fight was against Korean Young Oh, a nondescript fight that he won in a 9th round knockout.
His hands are so much quicker than Espana.
Well, there's nothing you can do about speed, Gil.
He has it.
All right. You sign up.
Just beat him to the punch in the first fight. He's doing the same this afternoon. Minute and a half remaining. Round three, scheduled for 15. And a
Good
combination.
3 punches and every one of them on the mark.
Hold it.
Good right hand.
Get out of there.
Mixing them all, the uppercut, the overhand right, the combination. Hilmer Kenty has them all in his arsenal. Minute to go in the third. And he's kept Espana against the rope, although Ernesto can land with that punch any time, and that's the danger that Hilmer faces, Gil.
Legs are gone. Espana's legs are gone.
Leaning against the rope.
Now what Kenty should do is go out and box this guy. He doesn't have a leg anymore.
Wouldn't he get a second win?
We're talking about the legs now, Dick. The legs are gone.
Hold it.
Espana can hardly stand up. Less than 30 seconds remaining in round three. It's Kenty's fight. Not fighting the way his corner wants him to fight, but he's doing the job nonetheless. 10 seconds remaining in the third. Solid right hand, and now Espana not throwing the punches he was throwing before.
Go lean on him.
WBA featherweight championship in 2 weeks. Pedrosa against Lockridge, and the Woodward Stakes follows the CBS Sports Spectacular this afternoon. Round four.
Dick, Espana was in very bad trouble at the end of the round. He hardly made it back to his corner. Unless he lands a big punch early in this round, I don't think the fight's going to go much further.
Kenty, the hardest punching we've seen, much harder than the way he fought Espana in their first fight.
Well, he has that cut and throwing him. He wants to get this guy out of here.
Ernesto has been idle for 6.5 months, and before that, didn't fight for 7 months. So he has been rusty to say the least in his last 2 outings.
Let's get out, back.
I think it's target practice for Kenty now. It's just target practice.
It's a matter of time. Kenty just too quick, picking Espana apart. Hardly can stand on his feet.
Now, Kenty should let him off the ropes. He can't stand when he's off the ropes.
Cut above the left eye, the corner of the left eye of Espana now. Marty Denkin looking closely at Espana's eye.
Dick, we said that Espana would give it his all in front of a hometown crowd, and he is, but he just doesn't have it.
The 9th time he's fought here in San Juan, and just taking a beating, almost to the point where he can't defend himself, with 1.5 minutes remaining in round 4.
Sit back.
The referee took a close look at him. He just took another good look at him now. I can't see it going much further.
Kenty wants to end it here.
Referee's going to have to step in there.
1 minute remaining, round 4. Hilmer Kenty, and Denkin taking another close look. He should stop this any time now.
Well, I don't know what he's waiting for. I just don't know what he's waiting for.
No sense in letting this go on. Espana, as you said, wobbly, taking a beating.
Dick, the only way he can fight is leaning on a rope on the other fighter. He can't stand.
Right hand jars him back. His head was snapped back. And Marty Denkin takes a look again and lets them fight. 30 seconds remaining in round 4. I'll be amazed if we start around 5.
Well, if we start round 5, he's got brave cornermen, I'll tell you that.
It's target practice for Hilmer Kenty.
Everybody's yelling for the referee to stop the fight.
Espana,
look, he can't walk.
Back.
He can't walk.
Right hand, and that's all. About time. Just before the end of round 4. It's over, and Hilmer Kenty, who decided not to box, but to go after Espana, do apparently what he was doing, as he ends this one-sided fight, no contest. Kenty defeats Espana in the return match and successfully defends his WBA lightweight championship for a 2nd time. So Hilmer Kenty with Thomas Hearns and Emmanuel Stewart and the great team from Kronk, which is part of the story here. We also had mentioned that Marty Denkin, the referee, a story there because Denkin was the referee in that bantamweight fight last night in Los Angeles. And we're going to be talking with Denkin. Espana just totally worn out. Let's take a look at some early action and dissect the way Hilmer Kenty took Espana apart in their return.
Well, you see, Hilmer has that height advantage. He keeps these fellas, they just can't hit him, and he can hit them almost at will. Look at that long left hand go in there.
Beat him to the punch.
There, he just leans back just because he's that much taller than the other fella. He really uses his height advantage. It's just he couldn't use it better.
And the finish, and we were all waiting for Denkin to stop. We'll have a chance to talk to him and ask him why he didn't stop this fight earlier, as well as talk about last night's bantamweight championship, in which Lupe Pintor knocked out Johnny Owen and sent him to the hospital. He's in critical condition. There it was, the end. Espana, it's amazing he stayed on his feet as long as he did.
Dick, he couldn't walk.
So wearing the belt again, signifying champion is Hilmer Kenty. He ends at 2 minutes and 57 seconds.